Do you want to turn $1,000 into $10,000 in 1 month? Or do you want to replace your full-time income with stock option investing in 1 month? Then this video is not for you. In this video, I'll help you guys to avoid a lot of common mistakes I have seen for beginner or even experienced stock option traders so that you don't have to lose money even before you start making money. For our new followers, my name is Cody Ye. I'm a 7-figure real estate and stock option investor who has been featured on TD Direct Investing and also 70+ investor focused podcasts last year alone. So the number one biggest mistake is that people try to use a small amount of money to 10x their return. And this is where the stock and option market gets the bad reputation of gambling. People get intrigued by putting in a small amount of money and they can win big, but never realize that when you do such thing, the chance of winning is very, very low. It's like buying a lottery ticket. It costs you a small money up front to buy a hope. Sometimes you do win back the money you put in, or sometimes you get a free try, but most of the time you are losing small money and you're getting slowly grinding down. Why? Because the odds are not in your favor. When you're buying a lottery ticket, it's 1 in 10 million or even more than that to win the biggest prize. So why do people still buy lottery ticket? Because our media are broadcasting these handful of people who win the big prize so that people get intrigued, can use a small amount of money to win a big amount of prize so that they can stop working forever. This kind of story is very clickbaity because average people want to spend the minimum amount of time and effort to get the maximum of return, and they don't want to do anything. The second most common mistake is called rookie's luck. When you're new to a game or new to casino, you tend to win your first few games. And this is when you just know enough to be very dangerous. And this is when you feel like you might know what you're doing because you already won a few hands. And this is when you start doubling down, you win bigger, you get more confident, you double down again until your last hand that lost you your entire principal amount. And the third most common stock option traders mistake is called revenge trading. Because of some beginner's luck, even when you lose all your principal money, you believe that you do have the ability to win it back. And this is when you borrow some money to play the same game, but you start losing more and more. But you have seen that you won the first few hands, so you know it's possible, so you borrow even more money to play this game, and eventually you not only lose all your principal, but you also give back even more money to the casino. And this is why people eventually lose all their money and more and say stock option trading is gambling. So now that we mentioned the 3 most common mistakes for beginner or even experienced traders and investors, how do you avoid these? I'll show you exactly how to do that right on my screen. So if you're a new or experienced traders, you really have to understand this chart, right? So on the left-hand side is the percentage loss of trading capital, and on the right-hand side is a percentage gain to recover losses. So as you guys can see, if you lose 10% of your money, you only need to make 11.11% back. If you lose 20% of your money, you only need to make 25% back. If you lose 50% of your money, you need to make 100% back. But if you lose 90% of your money, you have to make 900% back. And of course, if you lose 100%, you're broke again. Now, if we put that into monetary terms, you start with $100. You lose 10%, you have $90 left. So in order to use $90 to make it back to $100, you need to make $10, and that's 11.11%. Now, using a 50% loss, for example, if you have $100, you lose the $50. In order to use the $50 to make back the original $100, you need to make 100% on the $50. So that's why it's 100%. Right? Now, if you lose $90 after $100, you only have $10 left. You need to make 10 times of that to get back into the 100. Now that you understand this chart, the takeaway is that your number one goal is not to have the maximum return and maximum drawdown. It's actually how do you protect your principal so you don't have a big drawdown. In case you have a drawdown, you can always just make a little bit more to get back a lot easier. So that should be your number one goal. So with that being said, a lot of you guys are selling options or buying options on individual stocks. If you guys don't know my proprietary strategy of said and done strategy, where we sell options on S&P 500 future options, where we get consistent monthly return because of lower volatility and higher consistency, then you should definitely check out my webinar in the description. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Say yay.